Okay, so we're going to weld this right here. We're going to weld it a little bit like that, just for aerodynamic purposes. And we may weld it sideways like this so we can haul two things at the same time. We haven't figured that out yet. But no, just kidding. We're going to find the center between here and here. And then right in the middle here, I'm going to scratch this out, find it, take my cutting wheel, cut a hole in there, have it go all the way through. Right on. And then we just zip, 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 weld it, and then weld it on the back side. Be sure to weld it where the holes are going like this. No, don't do that. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. Tape. Got tapes laying all over this joint. So this is 42 1/4. So 20. Okay, very important tool to have. So we're going to make sure that this is square with the other two. As soon as that should be it. So that's our mark right there. That's our setting. So now these are not twisted, and well, we're gonna have to do that again before we weld it, but right now to mark this, come on over and take a look at my chicken scratch. You're gonna like it. So that's gonna get cut out, same on the other side. And then we just slide the tube in. I'm gonna end up cutting, you know, some of that tubing off because it's gonna protrude a little bit deeper than I can because of the exhaust pipe right there. And you don't want it to puncture anything, you know, you get rear-ended and all of a sudden it's going through your gas tank and you're blowing up like a Pinto. Anyway, yeah, so let me start to cutting over here, or maybe I'll just flip this over and get my my other hole on the other side ready to go. All right. Exactamundo. now I want to kind of chamfer the edge. I don't want it square. When you weld it, you want it at an angle so you have area to fill up when you're doing your welding. All right, slide in here real close. So there's our hole. We'll test fit in a sec. So what I did was, you got to take out all the powder coating or paint or whatever the heck they're using on these things. Got to get that away from your welding. You got to chamfer these edges at an angle so that when your piece that you're welding slides in, it has area to go in and fill with weld. Because weld is good. Alright, so basically, let's take this little guy here. And it looks like she is going to fit pretty good. I just need to clean it up just a little bit there, and she can slide right on in. Yep. So we'll clean that up, cut the other side, and get to some welding for real. Ah, come on! There it goes. There it is. All right. Beautiful. Okay. Very importantly is the depth. So, not going to need a whole lot of that. but I'm not going to cut it off exact. I'm going to leave just a little bit, maybe about 1.25 inches, depending on how far back that goes. Also important is how far down are we going to go with this. Now, I'm probably not going to be able to put the cover on anymore, which is, you put these covers there, you can pop them off. This is most likely not going to fit anymore. So, hurt. Oh, knee chopper. So give yourself some room to work with, you know, so your hands aren't too close to this when you're trying to put the pin in and whatnot. So, somewhere about right here is where I'm going to cut this off. There's a mark right there. Neighbor came by, or the neighbor's parents came by to chew the fat a little bit, see what I was doing. Anyway, back to this. I am going to, alright, so this actually sticks out of the plastic. So maybe I won't go any farther than this. So I'm just putting marks on there just so I know where to grind the paint away. Seymour PBE paint body equipment weld through primer. Great. All right. Cool. Got the weld through primer on, and it seems to come out just a little bit. There we go. And what I do is take this, and when you look down it, you need to just make sure that that's straight on both sides. And there she is. So we'll just put a couple of tack welds on it, and we'll call it good. No, I'm kidding. Not just gonna tack it in, we're gonna weld it in, baby. Weld it. Let me go over there and get that welder out, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I did a little bit of practicing. Oops, still hot. But, ow, ooh, she's hot still. Did a little bit of practicing on my welds. They're getting better. They're not perfect, but they'll work. So I got a little bit of a start right there, then I realized I didn't turn on the camera. So, how about we go up just a bit, maybe, I don't know. Right there. So, I don't have the thickness of wire that I'm gonna need to do this correctly. I gotta go grab some. Hopefully Home Depot should have some of this. The only stuff that I had was the flux core, and it just started making a mess. I'm not gonna use it. I'll be back with some good welding stuff. All right. I've installed new welding wire, and here we go again. Hopefully my welds turn out better on this side than they did the other, because you can see this side, and ran out of welding rod twice, welding wire twice, and then I put in some flux core that buggered everything up. So hopefully this will work better. some reason it is not liking this weld-through primer. Battery ran out again. Okay. So I guess it didn't turn out too bad. It got kind of booger welded, you know, where the machine ran out, and then I used a flux core, and that looked like hell. And so yeah, some of it's a little bit boogery. What I was saying is, I think it'll be strong enough to tow a couple motorcycles behind a small trailer. That's really all she's going to be for. So anyway, there it is. She's a little boogery. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do about safety chains at this moment. Maybe I'll think about that tonight and weld that on tomorrow. Alrighty. Okay, I'm making this plate for the safety chain. Let's hope it turns out. Almost there. That's it. Ugh, that stuff stinks. It stinks. Yep. See that? It's gonna go right here. Just like that. Well, not exactly like that, but something like that. Yeah, I just did a little bit of welding right there. Off camera, of course, I forgot to turn it on. Okay, got a little weld there. Put some welds underneath of there. Got a weld there. And I may even clean this up down here and put a weld there. But I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So you see, if an old guy like me can do this, I'm thinking anybody can. Give that about 20 minutes to dry out. Almost looks factory. No. But it'll do the job. It's only gonna hold a, you know, maybe at its worst, I might put, you know, 3,000 pounds to it. Maybe. Most of the time, it's just gonna be a little motorcycle trailer getting me out to the dirt. Okay. I have the headlight on on the last one. So what I'm going to do is let that dry, and I'll come out and put another coat on that, and then tomorrow after work I'll install it. Whoa. Tomorrow after work I'll get her installed. Well, I couldn't wait, so I put it in, put the plastic back on, and I think it looks factory. If the guy was just walking by, he'd say, hey, that's factory. Yeah. So, you know, so it's got a couple booger welds. It's gonna work out. I am. Now I get to tow my bikes. Yeehaw. Cool. I'll see you guys again. Way, I do have the wiring kit for the Jeep. We'll put that in later. I won't bore you guys with that. It should only take me an hour to put that on. Have a great day.